seem like he's... I've been sitting on this parking lot for like 2 hours.
From the deepest depths of the dark web, dark of the night.
Greetings, night crawlers. Welcome to another episode of Dark of the Night. I'm Eric Yearwood.
I'm Alex Myers. First of all, I just want to say it's a great night to be a night crawler. It's always a great night to be a night crawler, but tonight's a great night. Why?
Well, because two reasons. One, we're discussing Mothman.
Great night.
Two, we've got a special segment where the night crawlers are all going to be talking to us simultaneously.
So that's a great night. There's lots of different ways to have a great night, and I try all of them.
Yeah. We like great nights. We like wild times, and much like the subject of our show tonight.
Mothman is one of the, I'd say he's one of the crown jewels in the paranormal crown, right?
Yeah, Mothman is like, you know, he's one of the founding fathers of paranormalism. There's Bigfoot, there's Chupacabra, there's Loch Ness Monster, and Mothman. That's kind of the four horsemen.
He's specific. Mothman is specific, right? He's like, he is an individual. Like, what are the sort of superheroes of the paranormal? Superman. Nicolas Cage as Superman. Dracula. Nikola Tesla.
That's it. And they all have powers that they deploy.
We forgot David Bowie and also everybody in Russia.
All that constitutes like kind of the pillars of paranormal superheroes. And, you know, it's debatable, Alex. A lot of people, you know, when we talk about these creatures, you don't know whether they're friend or foe. And it's debatable whether Mothman is a good guy or bad guy in the minds of most.
Yes. And what I would say is it's debatable in the minds of dumb assholes. Do you know what I mean?
I do. I mean...
right.
Well, here, I was just going to say, tonight is all about our shared opinion on Mothman, that he is... he's a great guy.
Right. This is a debate that's already been answered. Mm-hmm. That's what tonight's about.
By us.
But we answered the question, and now we're going to debate why it's true. And
These assholes have no idea what I'm really like. I'm a very, very bad guy. I'm so bad that when bad wants to know what it means, it looks me up in the dictionary. And you know what other words look me up? Cock and jerk off. Do you understand me? Do you understand me?
Tell us about the video game.
Well, really exciting news, folks. Dark of the Night, we're developing our own video game.
It's a great, and I mean, we were inspired by the greatness of Mothman, and even though I don't think that the video game has anything to do with Mothman, right? It's just like, Mothman's a great thing. Let's do something great. What's great? Video games.
Well, I want to put a pin in Mothman. We're definitely going to talk, we're going to jump right into that, but we wanted to showcase something that's going to be kind of an ongoing project for us.
Yep.
And it's Dark of the Night, the video. So we're going to give you a little preview here. We've been taking a coding class. I've been taking the class, and I've been sort of passing on the information to Alex. And so I wanted to give you guys a little preview. Let me know what you guys think of the progress so far, because we want to know, is this a game that you would play? So I'm going to go ahead and boot this up. Dark of the Night, the video game. Now, the music, we're not going to hear the sound yet, but this is sort of your head, Alex, floating through space, and then you're avoiding Sasquatch, who is sort of chasing you through the cosmos. So
here's what I want to say about this video game.
Right.
Looks great.
Yeah.
Good gameplay. Kind of a. So at which point? So here's what I want to ask as the layman, right?
Yep.
When does the sort of story kick in here?
Well, it's exciting you ask, because one of the aspects of it, there's kind of a narrative in that when you're flying, your head is flying through the cosmos, then you can shoot out laser beams. And now the physics on these laser beams isn't quite up to snuff yet, but if you hit Mothman, they're kind of coming out at an angle. So they're kind of but coming out of your cowboy hat, you're shooting these laser beams. And just in the same way that in the real world, we're chasing after this guy,
right,
and we're trying to take him down, then we're also shooting him.
So, great. So here's what I want to say.
Right.
That happens to me all the time.
Okay. Like this literally happens to you?
Yeah.
In what way?
Well, at night the sky. Right. Okay. I'm gonna lay this out point by point. How this happens to me every day.
Okay.
So when the sun goes down, the sky comes out.
Sure.
The star sky.
And I know you like to look at the stars.
Right. So that's element one. So that's there during part of my day. I own that cowboy hat, and I wear it. Mm-hmm. And then the third thing that happens is that sometimes when I'm sleepy, well, none of the other stuff happens.
Right.
But here's okay.
Look,
so
I mean,
let's answer some Nightcrawler questions here. Can we get 40 hours of just this game on loop? Yeah. So this is actually a thing that we wanted to tell. So this is going to be available to the public, and it's going to have lots of music that we're not allowed to use, right?
Right, it's going to be copyrighted, some of the music. But my question is, would the Nightcrawler community play this? If this were a multiplayer game, we could all hop in and pilot Alex's head. Is this something you guys would want to do? Because if so, we want to try and figure it out. You know, I don't know that we want to get too far off topic. We were really excited and enthused to sort of show you this work in progress. We'll be updating you about it.
We're getting positive answers here. Here's what I'll say. Every copy that Nightcrawlers buy of that game, I will do that for real.
Okay.
You can see me doing that. I'll do all of it.
Okay. Well, great.
Do you not think I'm gonna? Let's put a pin in that.
Yeah, we can talk off camera about that.
Great.
So Mothman, he's just an awesome guy.
It's like I was about to make sort of just an exclamatory sound. Just
yeah.
Sort of like, ha!
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, because
Mothman rocks.
When somebody comes up to you and they say, like, gosh, what do you think of G.G. Allen? I always say, no, thanks, not my speed. But if you talk about the President of the United States of America, who wrote Lump, or if you talk about Alice in Chains or something like that, then my mouth waters.
Yeah.
And I feel the same way about Mothman.
Yeah, when somebody's like Alice in Chains, President of the States of America, I'm like, get all that in my mouth. Get Mothman in here to watch.
Yeah. Because
Mothman okay, here's what I like about Mothman, the subject for tonight. We're going to get into some more paranormal ideation. We're going to have a town hall debate coming up shortly. Here's what I like about him, to clear the air, to return to the topic.
Sure.
He really does have great powers, right?
Yes.
Mothman, witnessed across different nations, across the world during different decades, different times, depicted in different ways. He has the power of prediction, seeing into the future, sort of being outside of time.
Yes.
He's ripped.
Because what's the historical event that he's associated with, Alex?
Wait, what was that?
In 1967, Mothman was involved in a bridge collapse.
Right. So this is the most famous depiction of Mothman, which involved Richard Gere.
And it was Richard Gere's most famous depiction.
Right. His most famous depiction involving Mothman was the Mothman prophecies. So the bridge collapse that happens at the end of the movie, spoiler alert, is in that movie.
And so the legend is that Mothman has psychic powers, and somehow his appearance was associated with this bridge collapse.
Right. So let's dig in. We've imported a variety of night crawlers. We've imported. We have. How many people do we have on the phone here?
Well, there's about 10 people in our Discord voice channel called Call In. So let me just give you guys a little bit of a primer on how we're kind of restructuring our phone call situation. So up till now, we've had a phone number that you can call in. That's I think that might be mine.
That's fine.
So up until now, we've had a phone call you could call in, which is super fun. But we also have had people call up and just use a variety of words that start with just letters that are sort of in the middle of the alphabet or some other words. And we want to try and make sure that whoever's calling is really interested in having an honest dialogue. So we want to do that through our Discord channel. So if you want to call into the show, join our Discord server. The link is on our Twitch page. And then we'll have a process by which you can become an official Nightcrawler, which is a role we will assign to you. And that role will allow you in to the call-in channel of our Discord server. And right now we've got about 10 people in the voice channel. And we're going to have a little bit of a round table.
Very cool. They should be there. Why don't you check in with them?
Okay, let's check in. Everybody, can you hear me?
Yes. Yeah. Eric.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, great. We've got a lot of people. So at this point, we're going to do something from classic. You're gonna remember hearing it from the old school radio. We're going to ask you to turn the volume on your program down so that we can get a nice, clean audio channel.
That's right.
Great. And
we'll start out with just the server wide open, as wide as it can get. And then I think after that, there's going to be some trial and error here, and somebody's pouring themselves a highball, I guess. I can hear some ice clinking in a glass, which is great. We like everybody to be relaxed. If you're in a bathtub, then just, take it easy. But the point is that we might mute you guys, depending on how this goes, and then sort of like unmute you based on who we want to talk to at the time. So yeah.
If you're familiar with the program Nightcrawler, if you're familiar with the film Nightcrawler, at the end of the movie, Jake Gyllenhaal has a number of interns kind of go throughout the city and retrieve information. Well, inspired by that, we've had people retrieve information and meet here on the phone. So here's I'm gonna go ahead and reach out to. We do have a paranormal expert. Mike Short, are you there on the phone?
I am here, yes, hello.
Mike, you have one of the deepest knowledge bases on the paranormal of people that I know. Who is drinking right now?
I'm sorry, who?
I'm breaking off from our conversation, Mike, to sort of just be a little bit angry. Who's drinking?
I'm thirsty.
Who is that?
Is that Lucy?
Yeah, it is. Hey.
Lucy, put some padding on your ice or throw the glass out.
I'll have tea instead.
Okay. Lucy?
Yeah.
Chill it.
Mike Short.
Yes.
What do you know about Mothman?
Well, I know that Mothman, yes, he was a cryptid first sighted in Point Pleasant, Virginia in 1966. A number of eyewitness testimonies. He's usually described as being about 6 feet tall, about a 12-foot wingspan, big glowing red eyes, able to fly at incredible speeds, just a terrifying creature all around.
But and Tell me, Mike. So what? When does he start being awesome? Because keep in mind that we know that he is.
When did he start being what now? I'm sorry.
Which part of what you just said is cool? Because all of it sounds great to me.
Well, it's really just interesting. Like, no, you know, his motives were never really particularly clear. He just sort of would appear, and then terrible things would happen around him. So I don't know if anyone was able to really tell if he was good or bad, if he was evil or heroic. It's just like, you know, things would happen around him.
So he was sort of like a cosmic. He was like a paranormal Sedona, Nevada.
Exactly. Yes.
You sort of go there. You go inside Mothman. You hang out with your aunt who has crystals in her living room, and you smoke some marijuana, even though I've never done that. And then you're just right in the center of just everything weird and crazy. And that's kind of how Mothman is. Is that true?
That's exactly it. Like people reported feeling hypnotized when they're around Mothman, and felt like he was looking into their soul or something. And that could be good, that could be bad, but people would just react so strongly to him.
Now, thanks, Mike. Now, we've got our legal counsel, lawyer Dave, on the line. Dave, is there any sort of, Mothman is associated with this event that happened in 1967 where he may or may not have been connected to a bridge collapsing? Is there any sort of legal ramifications for sort of thinking Mothman is cool if he's somewhat responsible for some sort of bridge collapsing?
Yeah, thanks for having me tonight again. I don't see if his whole thing is just being present, and then just by being there, like, bad stuff happens. Mm-hmm. It's gonna be tough. It's like, there are people that just kind of have bad energy, but for a crime to occur, you actually have to have like an overt act or some kind of thing. But if he's just like giving out bad vibes, like he's just like a general piece of shit, like on super steroids, you can't prove anything. I mean, he's just bad energy. He's like the guy you don't want at your party, but just because things go bad, you can't prove it. You got to prove he did something.
It's hard for me to say that I don't want a guy at my party. Do you know what I mean? Because if I had a party, I'd love there to be at least a guy there. Every party I've had, there's been almost no guys or anyone. And but that's interesting. But here's what I want to say. I'm picking up a little bit of negative vibes towards Mothman, a little bit.
Does anybody out there in the chat or on the voice call, do any of you guys not like Mothman, and if so, why?
Yo, I hate Mothman, and I don't mind interrupting, and I don't mind who's here to say it.
You guys are going to have to fight it out if you guys are...
Grace Leeson, why don't you like Mothman?
Hey, don't use my full name, all right? Because I know that the Mothman's going to find me, because the Mothman is responsible for the WNBA. Do you know what I mean? I mean, he is responsible for the WNBA. And I'm talking price points. I'm talking caps. I'm talking all of it.
Wait, the Women's Basketball Association.
That's exactly right, yeah.
Are you saying the Mothman's a woman?
No, the Mothman just created the WNBA. No woman would create the WNBA.
All right, everybody chill out. There's no such thing as gender, and if there was, I wouldn't have it here.
And we can't confirm that the WNBA is actually a thing that exists, because
I mean, no one watches.
Who said that?
That was Total Graboid. It's me, Chris.
It's your brother Chris. Let me ask you guys,
Chris, how did you get in here?
Yeah, is anybody watch the show enough to know that Alex's brother Chris is not supposed to watch or call into the show?
Yeah, don't you have like a restraining order?
Yeah, he does. I'm the one who put it on him, and I'm literally recording this.
Lawyer Dave, I don't remember any of that happening. I did have amnesia for a little while, so.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you remember when the judge told you in court that if any of this happened at all, and I brought it to his attention, he would throw you in contempt or in custody for contempt of court? You remember that?
No, I don't.
Okay.
However, I do remember that I'm not supposed to talk about family issues.
Okay, guys, I'm gonna. All right, I'm gonna tell everybody to shut the fuck up. And when I say everybody, I mean my brother Chris.
Guys,
yeah. Sorry. Go ahead, Eric.
I was just gonna say, can everybody we go through and everybody just use one adjective to describe what they think of Mothman?
Right.
One word.
Let's do a Mothman icebreaker.
Just say
Batman.
What?
Weak ass Batman.
Okay, that's lawyer Dave. Lucy, what do you think about Mothman?
I thought he was from New Jersey.
Okay.
So far, we're doing a bad job using one word, but that's okay.
I'm disappointed. Disappointed. How about that?
Great. Disappointed. Dr. Watney, one word to describe Mothman.
Bicyclist. And here's why. An eyewitness said that his eyes glowed like bicycle reflectors. So I have a theory that he's related to E.T.
I just want to chill out for a second and just celebrate Mothman for another second.
Let's give him a round of applause.
Everybody on the phone line clap.
Now, if you are not, I know we still have some other adjectives to go through. Some people haven't answered that question yet, but like, in case you haven't picked this up, Alex and I are big fans. And if you are saying bad things against him, there's going to be hell to pay. So, who else has not said their word about Mothman?
Sexy.
Who is that? Mike Short?
Yeah, that's he's dangerous, and I find danger sexy.
Great.
So, sexy.
Introvert gaming, by the way, is text. People are writing in the chat saying one word. Jacked is introverted gaming's adjective. Who else has yet to voice their opinion?
Hero.
Who is that?
Chris.
That's Chris.
Chris, do I have to make you leave everywhere I've ever been? I thought this was the one time that you would leave of your own accord.
No, I'm actually enjoying myself, and I thought that I could still answer some questions.
Why would you answer questions?
Well, it was posed to everyone in the chat, so.
Chris, you need to start shutting the fuck up immediately, right now.
All right, Chris, have a sidebar with Dave, even if it has to be silent over the phone.
Well, what's cool about this whole feature we're integrating is that we can pair you guys off into just like breakout groups, and you guys can workshop different parts of massaging the Mothman legend, and then bring it back fully massaged.
Here's what I want to.
I'm more of a lone wolf, so.
Well,
here's what I want to do right now. We have all these great sort of we have a meeting of the minds here.
Yeah.
What I want everyone to start doing, and I think this is where we would end up in the best of situations, is for everyone to just start talking over each other.
Yeah, you guys, you've exhibited more restraint than we had anticipated, and now we kind of just want to froth up the foam.
What year was Mothman originally? Like, was it in the 60s? Is that what I heard?
1966.
November 12th.
What year did Batman the TV show come out?
About the year before. Mothman was named after the Batman character.
Does anyone else here feel that Mothman is some sort of like a perverted, wimpy Batman?
No.
Or am I alone?
You mean like how the WNBA is a perverted, wimpy NBA?
Like an off-brand Batman.
Like Batman is a bat. He's like a flying thing. I'm like, okay, hey, look at how cool that show is. Let's make Mothman.
I mean, if you were to like pit a bat against a moth.
Bats eat moths.
I mean, I kind of just It's obvious.
Well, yeah, and to be fair, though, that's like a normal bat against a normal moth. This is a 6 foot tall moth with red glowing eyes. So I really think that, it's not analogous there. You're going to have to really shift your paradigm thinking there.
Well,
Guys,
Batman is super rich.
Let me chime in and just
not to
say,
give away his identity.
Hold the phone. Lucy, I want to point out there's a guy in the chat who's Matt in Los Angeles who says, looking at you, Lucy, with the ice. So
Okay.
Someone's looking at you.
Great.
Great.
So
Does he have red glowing eyes also?
Well, that's not explicit yet.
listen, I just want to make sure that no horse shit. We like horseplay, but we don't like horse shit. And I want to make sure that there's no horse shit passing on our show. We need to be clear. Mothman there's been enough sightings, right? So how do you prove something's real?
See, I'm with you on this whole thing. I came in expecting a completely serious academic discussion of the Mothman phenomenon, and we're going off on all sorts of things about the WNBA, which it's not even. There's no evidence to even suggest that he was involved in that at all.
Everyone on the chat, can we all agree now that we all wish that my brother and the WNBA didn't exist so we could just talk about Mothman?
Yeah, absolutely.
Chris,
I mean,
you don't get to agree with
Mothman
that, Chris.
Without talking about the WNBA.
Now
you can't separate those two things.
There's somebody there's a guy, a guy or girl, we don't know, in the chat named More Fun Than No Fun, who postulates that is apologizing, said, I'm sorry for you guys right here. This isn't going how I think you imagined it. Now that may or may not be true. The verdict is out. Alex and I, we're optimists, and so we tend to think this is going exactly how we imagined it.
This is going to sound crazy, but everything that's ever happened to me went how I imagined it.
Right.
Like first, here's how I do things. First, I imagine things, and then I start doing them, and that's how they go.
Well, and that's what I love about you. You're almost kind of like a mortal Mothman to me. Because in the same way that Mothman probably imagined that bridge collapse and then serendipitously it happened, you sometimes will imagine, hey, there's going to be an Arby's on our right when we're passing this exit on the highway. And then it's there. Or a Pizza Hut. You'll say there's going to be a Pizza Hut. Or a Dick's Sporting Goods. And it'll be right where you imagine it. So, look.
Who's the real expert? Who's the true expert here?
Between the two of us? Or in the chat.
On the chat.
In the chat.
I would say wait, who are we speaking with?
The chat expert that knew all the facts. Who is that?
I want to say Mike,
Yes.
you have a good background in Mothman, right?
Yes, I do. Yes.
So let's try to take on whether Mothman is good or bad with a single Mothman fact.
Well, okay. One of the earliest Mothman sightings, he may have killed a dog. This is true. This is true. A young man named Newell Partridge went to investigate a problem outside of his home after his TV started to go on the fritz. He went with his dog Bandit. He and Bandit came across Mothman. Bandit ran after Mothman and disappeared.
Mike,
so, yeah.
Now, are you reading this off of something, or is this just in your mind?
I do have reference material handy.
Yeah, I'm saying it's on Wikipedia.
Yes.
Right? Yeah.
Well, I have a couple of books with me.
Those are some pretty cool names. That's like Ebenezer Scrooge level.
Yeah. I mean, I would prefer having a name like Newell Partridge if I could. But
Beautiful name.
So I want to cut in here. Killing a dog.
Yes.
So we have that. Good or bad?
I mean, you could argue self-defense because the dog was going after him and may have been trying to bite him and hurt Mothman, and so I would understand. Again, we have a lawyer in here that there are different degrees of manslaughter. So, again, I'd like to know a little bit more about what his motives were.
Well, if this is the same Mothman that could take on Batman, do you think a dog would be a problem? That's a real question.
Well, my thought is that Mothman, if he's, you know, whipping a dog with a rusty chain, for example, then maybe that's sort of a more there's a humanity to that, because you're leaning into the experience in sort of a physical way rather than an impersonal murder of a dog.
And here's another thing. Who would ever imagine anyone other than a human using a chain? Think about that.
I thought Mothman was just bad energy, you know, and he just by being there, he made bad stuff happen. I didn't know he actually took action and hit things, you know.
Well, the bad energy that people kind of associate him with is the bridge collapse that we'll probably be getting to a little bit later. He was seen around the area of the bridge, but the bridge collapsed on its own. And so people are like, oh, is there a connection? Was he trying to warn us? Did he see that it was coming, or did Mothman do it himself somehow?
Either way is great. Like,
yeah.
Whether he was trying to warn us or whether he made it happen, I would say thank you, Mothman. Because, first of all, guess what? That bridge was not as sturdy as it should have been. And just because he made it collapse doesn't mean it would. What he was doing is being like, let's get a new bridge in here.
Yeah, Mothman's a tough guy to profile. I mean, he's a dog killer and a bridge collapser. Those are weird points, you know? They're not related crimes.
Well, maybe that's... Here's what I want to say, Eric, and tell me what you think of this.
Yeah.
Because he's hard to profile. So, if I meet someone, right, and I can't make heads or tails of their identity, right? If you said... Hello?
Nope.
Hello.
So, sorry.
Andrew?
If I meet someone and I can't make heads or tails of their identity, right? If you say, hey, I like going to rodeos and I'm also dean at Yale.
Guys, I'm sorry. I just want to ask a question. What the hell are we talking about? I mean, and I only say that because I get overstimulated, you know, and with so many great minds all working together on the same problem, it's just like I'm in a whirlwind of like, I don't know what's going on, but I'm loving it. It's like the McDonald's commercial. I'm loving it.
I have a theory. This is Matt from Massachusetts.
Hey, Matt from Massachusetts.
Yeah, we can hear you great.
Okay, so Dave is an attorney, right?
Yes.
Okay, so are you familiar with the concept of an attractive nuisance?
Oh yeah.
All right, so
this show is an attractive nuisance.
So we know what are moths attracted to?
Light.
Yeah.
Right.
Fire.
What don't we know about this bridge?
Ooh.
Was it light?
That thing could have been covered with lights.
Christmas lights.
I think there's an argument here that it really wasn't Mothman's fault. He's just following his nature, and it's really the town that's responsible for, stringing up lights on this bridge, knowing very well that a Mothman could be present.
That's a good theory. However, the actual bridge collapse happened in the afternoon during rush hour, presumably during daylight hours there if it's the afternoon. So I don't know. That kind of pokes a bit of a really big hole in that theory.
My mind is like on the verge of collapsing because that was sort of a chess game in miniature, I feel like. Alex, we've never had this many excellent paranormal minds all working on the same question simultaneously. I feel like I'm going to...
It makes you want to throw up in a good way, because when you have a conversation that's careening from kind of theory to theory, and you accidentally mention the WNBA at one point,
it wasn't an accident, I don't think.
Well, let's circle back real quick to the theory that Matt proposed. If we're going to imbue Mothman, hypothetically, with moth-like characteristics, maybe he's eating holes in our clothes.
Right. Exactly. Or holes in the bridge.
That's possible.
Yeah. I mean,
is that all he does?
Yeah. Does he have any other recorded events other than killing a dog and taking down a bridge? Are there any other events?
Mike, what say you?
Numerous eyewitness events. The actual number is a little unclear. The authorities downplayed how many eyewitness events there were, but I can give you one. Let's see. He kind of played chicken by flying towards a person's car. An 18-year-old Connie Carpenter was driving along one night in November of '66 when Mothman just streaked towards her car, just head on, and kind of veered away at the last second. So
sorry, Mike, please finish.
Well, she reported having Klieg conjunctivitis, which is ultraviolet eye burn, commonly reported after UFO sightings. This is all true. You can look this up.
E.T.?
Exactly.
So she's driving down the street. You said she sees Mothman streak,
like streak through the air.
And he's not wearing any clothes, so it works no matter how you're using that term.
Right.
Which, by the way, what's he looking like down there? I think that'll give us another clue into how much on the spectrum of moth to man, where does he fall, and how big is he fall? Or
nobody wants to be hung like a moth.
I mean, do we know how moths reproduce? Do we know how that works down there?
Well, I mean, we also have to do, if we're talking about like moth abilities, I think ratio-wise, they're pretty well endowed.
I think the word proboscis is used.
Yes. So he's probably pretty good. But again, I guess the thing is, though, like, he's got the red eyes going, so she probably wasn't able to take a good look at his business.
So the guy kills a dog, takes down a bridge, and like streaks towards a car and gives someone pink eye. These are very random acts. I think Mothman sounds like my college roommate. I mean, this is just he's all over the place.
Alex, we're deep into the show. I think that at this point, it could be good to kind of wrap up the town hall and for you and me to sort of journey into the unknown.
Well, I want to put a cap on this, and I want to say thank you to our town hall callers. I think so. This town hall is a new experiment for us.
That's right.
And it's difficult to there's so many different perspectives, and about something that is, some people would say, is this real or not? Right. It's hard to have, in a way, it's hard to have clarity. And so I'd like to give it to everyone. And I'm going to give it to everybody right now. He's great.
We think he's great. We don't really care. I mean, there's a lot of great information out there, and we do take it to heart. But at the end of the day, we don't. It's not going to. It's like, having a poster of Michael Jordan on your ceiling when you were a kid, and we had posters of Mothman. By the way, if that seemed like fun, if what you heard, and all those voices just talking to each other, just out there, and you want in on the conversation, join our Discord channel, and then message us. We'll take you through a short vetting process so that we know that you're not a complete insane axe murderer, although that's cool too. But we'll make you a night crawler, an official night crawler, which means you'll have the privilege of calling in and talking to us on the phone live.
So it's yeah, we want to thank everybody for calling in. Eric, I want to take it home because I think maybe people want some distilled clarity on Mothman.
Right.
What is your we had sort of a variety of views. We had questions on legal status. We had questions on some specific events that occurred, right? And whether that made him good or bad.
Right.
Let's make it easy for him.
Yep.
Tell me why he's great, because I know we both think that.
Mothman is one of the most powerful monsters there are. No other creature, no other paranormal creature except for maybe Dracula, has the ability to both be a formidable physical beast while at the same time possessing paranormal powers of the mind that can warp reality. So I think that those two things in tandem make him one of the giants of the paranormal universe. And in 100 years, the worst he's done is make a bridge collapse. Well, then that's far less damaging to the human race than Dracula, and I applaud his restraint.
I'd like to get some. Chris, do we have any? Do we have some music we could have underneath? Do we pipe in some music? Because I'm about to flip out, and I'm about to flip out in a way that I feel like we're both about to just flip out.
Can I just observe the fact that what everybody is posting, I hate Mothman. So there's now some sort of like just spam coming from the Nightcrawlers, which is interesting. We'll have to do a little debrief on that later on.
So, Eric.
Yes. Yes. Ban them, Eric. Ban them all. I'm not. I don't want to ban anyone. I want everybody to. We're all here in this together. I hear some of our dark tunage coming through. Excellent.
Agreed.
I like how you're primed. You're just like a snake coiled and ready to strike.
Mothman. Give me your take on him.
He's a bad dude.
Eric,
in a good way.
He's a hero. This is my interpretation, right?
Yep.
He predicted this bridge collapse.
Right.
That bridge needed to go. And if not, he was warning us.
Of a bigger bridge collapse.
Of a bigger bridge coming.
We're all on a bridge that's ready to collapse, and I wish there was a Mothman with his ripped torso.
We need somebody to save us.
You think I'd save you? I wouldn't save anyone. I can't. Don't ask me to. You think I want to be this way? Well, I don't. But the truth is, I'd rather just fly around and predict bad stuff than do anything about it. I'm a big, shitty moth mixed with a man, and that's it. Don't ask me to be your messiah. You guys look like a bathroom.
And I want to just say that you're right. You're right.
Yeah. Yeah.
So let's sort of settle in.
Yeah.
We had some adventures tonight, right? We had some adventures with the format.
Yep.
We had some adventures with. That was the most guests we've ever had, right? And it's definitely a new experience for us.
Yeah, we are used to handling one guest at a time, sometimes in studio. We're not used to handling 10 guests that are just all just flipping around everywhere.
Yeah, and so we're gonna streamline that format, and when it comes back, it's going to be unstoppable.
Let me ask you guys this one format question. Some of you may or may not be aware that we replay reruns of our show during the week when we're not broadcasting live. Some of you like this, some of you don't. One of the ideas that we had is that when we play replays, to keep our Discord voice channel open so that you guys during the day, all times of week, could just get on the voice channel if you're a Nightcrawler and have these conversations like the ones you were just listening to live on the air, real time. Is that something that would appeal to you? Let us know.
I want to go into some personal stuff right now, because we've gone basically, Eric, we've gone from, you know, we've gone into Mothman, we've kind of hit some superficial stuff, right? What attracts you? Like when you, I'll prompt you with this.
Yeah.
You know what attracts me to Mothman?
What?
I went to a sleepover one time, and it was just me and my friend. Okay. And we watched the Mothman prophecies, and it was a great night. And I'll always have that. And that was my beginning for the Mothman. What a great start.
That is a great start. You know, you actually, and this is in total seriousness, you just made me remember why Mothman sticks in my mind. Because when we talk about the greatest monsters, and this isn't, we're not horsing around here at all, Mothman comes out of my mouth all the time. I'm a Mothman kind of guy, quick to mention Mothman when we are talking about a lineup of the greatest monsters. And you asked me where that comes from, I'll tell you why. When I was a kid in elementary school, there was a book, or maybe a couple of books, that were about paranormal creatures. And I remember in elementary school, there was this one book, and they had, you know, a chapter about the Loch Ness Monster, a chapter about aliens, whatever. And there was a one on Mothman. And there were these line drawings. Next time, maybe for the next episode, I can find one of these drawings and I can put it on the air. This line art with a pen and of the Mothman with his wings open, his eyes burning in their sockets,
Yep.
and a car in front of him with its headlights
Yep.
on the Mothman.
Yep.
And it was such a sort of like intense image and so wild to me that my young brain, it just burned into my memory.
Yeah.
And that was the first time I remember just being like, yeah, I'm in it. I'm into it.
Yeah. I wish that there was a movie starring Richard Gere and Laura Linney about every paranormal entity. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, like yeah, I mean, there's those volumes like Mysteries of the Unexplained, those books. If there was of one movie, like the Criterion Collection, but for each one as a paranormal creature.
Yep. So let's jump in. We were talking about the Nightcrawlers before.
Yep.
Concerned Caller posted an interesting sighting. Do we want to go into our Nightcrawler watch?
Yeah, our Nightcrawler watch. Chris, if there's a stinger for... Yeah.
So, Concerned Caller, guys, I was staying in a hotel last winter, and when I turned to go down one of the hallways, I saw this, and then it's a link to 4chan, but I'm sure he's just using it to post pictures. Not sure what to make of it. And there you go. What do you make of that?
Well, this looks like from... Is it The Shining or Eyes Wide Shut? It's one of the two. This is from a movie. I mean, I think that... I don't believe that this actually happened to him. But maybe, you know, Concerned Caller, he writes in, he's an active Nightcrawler, and so... I want to give him the benefit of the doubt that this is representative of an experience that he saw or witnessed. And look, there are things called furries, from what I understand, people who make love wearing these kind of outfits. So it's not outside the realm of possibility. It's unfortunate if he did not want to see this and he just rounded a corner in a hotel room and saw something like this. I don't know, Alex. What are your first impressions?
It's from the... So it's... So he rounded the corner in a hotel and he saw The Shining. He watched The Shining.
Which seems odd that they would be playing a scary movie.
How many
like
times have you rounded the corner and just watched a whole movie?
Never. But what I'm at, well, here's my question to you is, when you say that, are you asking, is your understanding of what you're saying, that he rounded a corner and on a TV, on a screen in front of him, The Shining was playing, or he rounded the corner and his eyes, like suddenly there was nothing else except he was sort of in The Shining? Did it co-opt his sort of entire plane of view?
Yeah. Look, I'm just trying to follow the rabbit hole on this one, because on the surface, what I'm looking at is, with that picture is, a guy sent us just a shot from The Shining, right? Cool, great. That's a great. Hey, if that's where we land, great. I'm as happy can be. Maybe even happier. But what if it's this? Imagine if you ceased to exist and you just, like, your entire vision was just, like, I turned the corner and my eyes saw, not on a screen, right? Not within a room. I turned the corner and my vision was simply the film The Shining.
Yeah.
Like almost like a VR helmet.
It's going to happen. Somewhere out there, there is a, what do they call that? When you, rendition. When, the U.S. government, they'd take some people and they would, like, take them to a base somewhere and they put them in a box and torture them. Somewhere out there, there's someone with some sort of a device, headset or on, and they're being forced to watch The Shining, or they're being forced to watch some other great classic horror movie, and they can't stop it.
Yep.
What do you? I know sometimes you get up and you just got to kind of go for a walkabout.
Yeah, I'm sending energy your way. That's what I'm doing right now, because I'm excited. I'm getting excited. Because what I realized that tonight's all about, Eric, is tonight's about experimentation. And seeing this photo, it makes me think, what are they doing? Why did we see this photo tonight of all nights, right? That guy in that suit is about to experiment with that man, right?
Yeah.
Well, tonight we experimented with a man called
Twitch.
A man called Twitch. A man called Fun. A man called Paranormal Knowledge. A man called New Formats, New Segments,
New Media.
Yeah, And here's what I want to say. I think we got to round this up into the dark truth.
Yeah, I agree. Folks, every episode we do the dark truth and we tell it like it is. And so here you go, the dark truth.
I've been tuning in and interrupting this horseshit for the past hour, but now it's all gotta stop. Stop watching this show. Do something with your life. Don't make the same mistake with this show that I made with Frasier. Instead of living my 20s and early 30s, I just watched Frasier starring Kelsey Grammer, and now I'm a moth. If you don't see how the two are related, then I pity the living fuck out of you. You're all good people in some way. Don't waste your lives hunting for gremlins. If you are going to waste your life, at least watch Frasier. It's a good show. It stars Kelsey fucking Grammer, Sideshow Bob. Alright, I'm going back to the Baltic Sea now. Everyone fuck off!
Alex? Alex? Alex! Where are you? What is going on? Alex! Where are you? Where